Hello everybody and welcome to our new episode based on Overdue Textbook Series Grade 12. Today I'll be dealing with Module 4, Unit 11. In fact, I'm going to deal with very important sub-skills which are vocabulary, grammar, and language functions. If you are interested in these sub-skills, keep watching our channel. I will be more than happy to meet you after the break. See you then. Dear students, welcome back to our virtual infinite educational program. As I have already said, today I'll be dealing with some of the most compelling elements in your exam papers, which are vocabulary, grammar, and language functions. But before that, let me remind you of what you have seen in Unit 11. The title of our module is Achievements. These are the achievements that the human being has reached so far. The title of the unit is Final Frontier, which is mostly about space exploration, advantages and disadvantages. Now let's get started by vocabulary. Okay? The first task is a multiple choice task in which you are going to be given some stems along with some distractors, and your burden or your task here is to choose the most important one or the correct option. Let's start by sentence number 1. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first satellite to the planet Earth. So it's clear here that we have 4 different verbs: execute, dispatch, alert, and orbit. One of the messages that I really want to come across with you today is to look for the clues or the helping words that will help you to find the correct answer. As I see, the helping words here are the word satellite along with the word Earth. So we have to look for a verb that holds the features of having a relationship to these two lexicons or these two words. The word, of course, is orbit. This is your choice, so the sentence should look like this. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first satellite to orbit the planet Earth. Let's move to the second sentence. This patient suffers from heart rhythms and high anxiety levels. Here we have 4 distractors. Your task is to choose only one. But before that, we have to look for clues. For example, this patient is the subject. He suffers from something. So we are looking for an object that goes hand in hand with the word patient and suffers. And here we have high anxiety levels. So the word is abnormal. Your sentence should look like this. This patient suffers from abnormal heart rhythms and high anxiety levels. The third sentence, you can compress huge amounts of on a CD-ROM. Here we have 4 nouns. All of them are in the plural: spin-offs, data, missions, and trainers. The helping words are compress, so the word is data because we compress data. We cannot compress spin-offs or missions or trainers. So the sentence should look like this: you can compress huge amounts of data on a CD-ROM. The following sentence, Beethoven was A-N or A, we have a blank here, talented German composer. Okay? These are 4 adverbs. You notice here that in multiple choice question, all the words belong to the same part of speech. So the word is exceptionally. The sentence should look like this: Beethoven was an exceptionally talented German composer. The following sentence, nitrogen dioxide from power stations are the cause of the depletion of the ozone layer. Have a look at it, think about it, try to find the clues, try to find helping words that will help you to find the right option. So, of course, here we are talking about power stations, we are talking about nitrogen dioxide, so our word is emissions. So the sentence is, nitrogen dioxide emissions from power stations are the cause of the depletion of ozone layer. Now let's move to task 2, which is related to vocabulary. It is gap filling. So the question says, fill in the spaces with suitable words from the list. You are going to be given 5 different words, or 5 or 6 different words belonging to different parts of speech. Before dealing with the exercise, you have to decide on the part of speech of every word in order to be ready to put the word in the correct blank. In this case, you have to use your knowledge about grammar. For example, economical is an adjective, revered is a verb. It can be verb in the past or it can be in the past participle. We'll see that. Then we have GPS, which is an abbreviation. Then we have take for granted, which is an expression. And the last word is habitation, which is a noun. Deciding on the part of speech of every word will help you a lot while dealing with the sentences. Let's take an example. Neil Armstrong is, and here we have a blank, as an international hero because he was the first person to walk on the moon. The helping word here is. So Neil Armstrong is, and we need a word here, as an international hero. The word, of course, is revered here. Why? Because we need here a word which is in the past participle. So this is the sentence. Neil Armstrong is revered as an international hero because he was the first person to walk on the moon. Whenever you are sure about your choice, just cross it out in order to forget about it and concentrate on the remaining options. Let's move now to the second sentence. We need a word at the beginning of the sentence. Of course, it is a subject here, and all subjects are nouns. Put this into consideration. So a blank is freely accessible to anyone whose mobile phone is equipped with a receiver. Okay? So here we speak about accessibility, we speak about mobile phones, and here we have the verb is. Okay? So GPS is our right choice. We cross it, and this is your sentence. GPS is freely accessible to anyone whose mobile phone is equipped with a receiver. We cross the word and we move on. Sentence number 3. Small cars are more to run and easier to park. Again, we have to concentrate and try to find the words or the cues or the keys which are able to help us find the right option. For example, here, the word more is extremely important because all of you know that the word that comes after more should be an adjective, and not any kind of adjective. It should be a long adjective. We can reinforce this by having an adjective which is put in the comparative. So our word should be an adjective. We have only one adjective here, which is economical. So this is the right word. Very good. The sentence, we cross the word, and the sentence is this. Small cars are more economical to run and easier to park. Now let's move to the last sentence. So, the high temperature surface and the heavy atmosphere of Venus make it not conducive to human. Of course, here we need a noun. Why? Because we have the word human here, which modifies a noun. It's an adjective. So the word is habitation. We cross it, and this is your sentence. The high temperature surface and the heavy atmosphere of Venus make it not conducive to human habitation. Now we are done with vocabulary. We move to grammar. Task 1. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. I'd like to note that all these tasks will be found in your 4th period exam. Okay? So we'll have a multiple choice question. Experiments that are not possible on Earth by astronauts on board the International Space Station. Notice here we have a complex sentence that consists of an independent clause along with a dependent clause. In this case, it's better to get rid of the dependent clause. Why? Because it has no importance in this sentence. And then we have to look for other clues. We notice here we have options which are put in the passive voice and others are put in the active voice. Here I have to decide how. Have a look at this. By astronauts. So the astronauts here are the people who did this or carried out this. So it's clear that this sentence is in the passive voice. In this case, I have to cross out all the active verbs, which are should carry out and carried out. Okay? Now, I have can be carried out and has to be carried out. Both verbs are put in the passive. Again, I have to look for other clues to decide on one of them. Notice here that, of course, the subject, okay, experiments, okay, or the original object of the original sentence is put in the plural. So it's not possible to use has to be carried out because has should be a verb to a subject which is, or an object which is put in the singular. So our choice is can be carried out. The second sentence, I am in favor of space exploration nor against it. Again, I have to look for words that may help us or may help me to find the correct answer. Notice here the use of nor. And as I know, you have already seen with your teachers in class that nor is only used with neither. So I am neither in favor of space exploration nor against it. You see here, things are extremely easy. Let's move now to sentence number 3. Each astronaut, and we have a blank, a space suit. It's clear that this sentence is in the active or in the passive. What do you think? Very good. It's in the active. So what you have to do here, we have to decide on the subject of the sentence and look for an active verb. To do this, we have to cross all the passive verbs. Can be worn and is worn. So I have two options here, wear and has to wear. And since I have a singular subject, so the word wear is not possible in this case. Why? Because the astronaut can be either he or she. In this case, I have to cross wear because wear is a verb which is put in the present simple and its plural form. Why? Because it's not holding the suffix s, the grammatical suffix s. So my answer is has to wear. My final decision here then, each astronaut has to wear a space suit. Let's move to the following sentence. Scientists have made about Venus by using probes. So here I'm speaking about an object. So I'm looking for an object. Why? Because I have scientists as a subject followed by a verb in the present perfect, and this verb must be followed by an object. So here I have to cross the verb to discover. And discovering, present participle. And here, since I have discovery and discoveries, which is a countable noun, if I'm going to choose discovery, which is singular noun, I should have an indefinite article, a or an, in order to complete my choice. Since a and an are not there, so I have to cross discovery and choose discoveries because my object should be in the plural. So the sentence looks like this. Scientists have made discoveries about Venus by using probes. The following sentence, there are 6 crew members on the International Space Station. Then we have a blank, is wearing a spacesuit. The options are nor, both, none, either. What is my helping word here is. Why? Because the word is a singular verb. It should be used by none. And as you can see here on the photo, none of them is wearing a spacesuit. This is my choice. Now let's move to the second type of question that we'll have in your fourth period, which is correcting mistakes. In your exam, you will have two sentences. Each sentence has two underlined mistakes, and your role here is to correct them. For example, by next month, astronauts will be finishing their mission in the International Space Station. So it's clear here that will be finishing is not correct. Why? Because the helping word or the helping phrase here, by next month, needs future perfect or perfect future, which is will have finished. Then we have the ISS, which shouldn't be used with the preposition in. Here we have to use on the International Space Station. So the correct sentence is, by next month, astronauts will have finished their mission on the International Space Station. Now let's move to sentence number 2. The atmosphere of both Mars and Venus lacking oxygen, but is not conducive to human habitation. I'd like here to decide on the word lacking, whether is it a verbal or is it a verb. To do that, I have to get rid of things which are not important in the sentence, which is the preposition phrase of both Mars and Venus, and try to concentrate on the atmosphere. The atmosphere here is the subject of the sentence, and after every subject we need a main verb. A main verb must be conjugated in a specific tense. Lacking is whether a gerund or a present participle. In both cases, it does not fit in this sentence, so I have to get rid of it and change it into a verb, which is conjugated in the present simple, taking into consideration that the word atmosphere is a singular subject. So the verb should hold the grammatical suffix s. So the answer is the atmosphere lacks oxygen. Then we have another idea which goes hand in hand with the first one. So I don't need the contradiction here. I need something that will add a piece of information and will support the first idea, which is lacking of oxygen. So the word but here is not correct. It should be changed by the word and. So the sentence should look like, the atmosphere of both Mars and Venus lacks oxygen and is not conducive to human habitation. Let's move to the following sentence. Tomorrow at 9 p.m., I will be sailed to a British Isles with my family. It's clear here that the word sailed is not correct. So what do you need after will be? Very good. You need the word sailing. I will be sailing. To what? We can't say to a British. We have to say to the British Isles. Why? Because the British is only one. You know, the word the definite article the is used whether to express something which is only one, like for example the British Isles, or speaking about the sun, or it is used in a sentence when the noun is mentioned for the second time, or we use the when we want to explain something in the sentence. Let's move to the following sentence. Tomorrow I went to the market after I finished my breakfast. The helping word here is went, and as it is not underlined, so it is correct. So it is in the past simple. So the word tomorrow is not correct. What you have to do here, went is an irregular verb which is put in the past. So we need an adverb that indicates the past tense. Very good, which is yesterday. So again, yesterday I went to the market after I finished my breakfast. The word finished is not correct here because the helping word here is after. So there is a sequence of events that took place in the past. The second event is went, which is the nearer or nearer to the present than finished. And here we have the word after, which is a helping word which indicates that we have to use two different tenses, the simple past and the past perfect. So our choice for finished is had finished. The correct sentence is, yesterday I went to the supermarket after I had finished my breakfast. Let's move now to language functions. In Unit 11, you have dealt with a lot of language functions, but the most important in this unit are giving information, approval, and disapproval, which I'm going to focus on. You will have only one question in your fourth period exam, which is what would you say in the following situation, or write what you would say in the following situations. Okay? Here, notice you have to give full sentences. Don't give fragments or run-on sentences. You have to give full sentences consisting of the main components of any English correct sentence. For example, your classmate doesn't know what the report focuses on, so he ignores everything about the report. Your role here is to give him information. Okay? This is our function. For example, you can say to him, this report focuses on the depletion of the ozone layer. What are you doing here? You are trying to help your friend by giving him pieces of information. The second sentence, you have heard somebody blaming modern technology for destroying human values. If you are against his point of view, so you are disapproving of this point of view. So what is your feedback? It can be, I'm totally in favor of modern technology. So you are going to give an opposite point of view, as it has made life easier and faster. So here we are disapproving of your friend's point of view. The following sentence, your brother spends most of the time chatting on the internet, okay? Which is something not preferable, mainly for students. Of course, you have to focus on your studies. You have to study hard in order to get good marks. Internet is something that you can practice in your free time, but not overusing it. So, your friend spends most of the time chatting on the internet. What is your reaction? Are you going to approve of this or disapprove? Your point of view or your feedback can be, I am totally against your irresponsible behavior. So this behavior is not acceptable. That's why you are disapproving of this idea. Or you may give him an advice by saying, for example, I advise you, or it's better for you, or you ought to, or you should stop using the internet and start working hard. So in the first case, you disapproved of his point of view and you gave your own point of view. In this case, you are giving him advice. At this point, our lesson is over. Let me remind you of what you have already seen. Today we have dealt with vocabulary in Module 4, Unit 11. I dealt with two different exercises, two tasks that you will see in your fourth period exam, which are multiple choice and gap filling. You will not have matching definitions, neither will you have sentence construction. Okay? You will have only two tasks, multiple choice and gap filling. Then we move to grammar. Again, you will have only two tasks. The first task is a multiple choice. The second one is correcting underlined mistakes. Then you will have only one question about language functions, which is about situation. The question may say, write what you would say in the following situations. And here you have to be fruitful. You have to give answers that convince the person who is going to correct your paper to give you full mark. At the end, I hope that you have enjoyed my lesson. I hope that I have been convincing all along this session. I wish you good luck in future endeavors, and thank you for watching.